On this episode of Video Marketing Madness, we're going to show you some changes at YouTube. Some are sad, some are exciting. All of them are important for you. So with that, well, first of all, this episode is, of course, made possible by Free Video Editor, freevideoeditor.co. Head on over there now and you can download our free video editing program and start editing like a true professional, just like me. So if you want to be like me, and everyone should, then you need to head on over to freevideoeditor.co and leave off the last M for manipulation. Manipulation, that's our word of the day. Manipulation.
Now, this truly, what's coming up here, is the best song ever made.
This is the best song ever made in the world. Let's hit that music, maestro.
He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.
And it's the radio show about Video Marketing Madness with Ray the Video Guy. And I'm Steve Sleeper on the Show Radio Network. We're on Stitcher for the second week. And I happened to mention it last week, and we got a number of downloads on Stitcher. I was surprised.
Stitcher is a good one. Yeah, we need to see if we can get ourselves on all the great places to host our podcasts.
Well, we are.
There are so many.
We are. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of them. If you Google Video Marketing Madness, there's a ton of them.
We're everywhere, folks. We are everywhere.
We're on YouTube.
We are on YouTube.
You can subscribe there. iTunes, of course, Ray is addicted to iTunes, so you'll make him happy if you give us a review.
That's right, a five-star review. Get off your duff. Leave us a five-star review, not because you want to, but because you have to. You need to do it.
You assign the papers, old man.
Yes, you need it, because you want this show. And the way to get this show and to keep it going is to put those five-star reviews in there.
Yeah. I
can tell I'm in a rare mood today.
Yeah, you are. I mean, you're playing like the crappiest music ever known to man, and you're goofy, and you must be relaxed.
I guess so. Must be.
Did you get a new root beer? Is that it? You got a new?
No, actually, I am completely out of root beer at the moment.
Oh no!
And was even relegated to this yesterday. IBC. I was relegated. IBC. I mean, everybody knows IBC. It's a popular one, but it's not bad. It's not bad, but it's certainly not a Virgil's or a Hank's or anything really good. So, but it's cheap, which is good. We like cheap.
Yeah, cheap.
We're cheap.
Are you in the Root Beer of the Month Club?
I am not. There is one, by the way. It does exist. It's kind of expensive. To be honest with you, yeah.
I think I've asked you this question.
A little overpriced for what you get out of it, but I may join it someday.
So what do you got a liquor store there that carries?
No, we've got some fancy ones. Actually, in our supermarket, we have a couple of fancy ones, and then I have to order online most of the time, believe it or not. And there is actually a store down the way a little bit that actually has a few fancy ones in it too. But it tends to be regional. So if you got a really good one in your region, you move somewhere else, you may not be able to get it anymore without ordering it online. That's where the Root Beer of the Month Club comes in. That's where you can kind of get a little bit of everything from all across the country. So what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
To buy it, so.
Annotations are going away, buddy. I'm sad about that.
Yeah, well, that's our first order of business today. For those of you who have loved the YouTube annotations, have used it for your clickable links like I have, they're going away. They're disappearing. Now, I do have some good news about this. As far as I understand it, and hopefully this is correct, if you've already got videos out there with annotations on them, that's not going to go away. They will still work. They'll still be there. You'll be able to delete them after those days if you want to, but you won't be able to update them. You won't be able to add new annotations. And you won't be able to add annotations to new videos. So that's going to be going away completely. Very sad. There are some positives to this, of course, but the sad thing is that we've had the ability to be able to take the videos, add buttons in them while we're editing, put links around them, and do different things, and it's worked really well. Now, YouTube's YouTube's thought on this is that, well, you've got cards, so what do you need annotations for? And they claim, and I put that in big bold letters. They claim that cards have a higher click-through ratio, and I call complete BS on that. Sorry, YouTube. I don't mean to make an enemy here, but I call complete BS. I know people, and we've had them on this show before, who spend millions on YouTube advertising, and they use both cards and they use the click-through annotations, and the annotations absolutely trounce the cards when it comes to getting clicks. So that's something that you'll have to get used to.
It's like a large billboard versus a small billboard, I guess.
Yeah, it really is. And the good thing about this is if YouTube's going to go all in on this, then they have the opportunity to really educate the consumers on the cards, on the little eye icon and the cards and all that, which would be good. If they can do that with the cards, I think the cards are a very, very good program. They, you can change them anytime you want. You can do all sorts of fun things with them. They just have to get people to click on them. And unfortunately, up till now, regardless of what they say, I think the click-through rates on the cards is actually pretty low.
You almost have to know. You have to know they're there.
You have to know they're there for the most part.
You
get that little
eye up in the corner.
You get that little banner that pops up at certain points when you've got a new card coming in. But it's not very in your face. The good news on mobile, it's actually more in your face on mobile because it actually posts it below the video, so it's right there. So it's a little bit better on a mobile device as far as that goes. And I mean by mobile, I mean phones. I think with iPads it works very similar to the desktop and things. So I find it less effective there, which is kind of sad. But I think as people are educated, it might get a little bit better because they certainly are more versatile than the annotations in that.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
You can put anything you want up there. You can change it anytime. If you're going to do clickable annotations, you're burning that into your video, uploading the video, and you can't change that. You can change the destination, you can turn it off, but you couldn't really change what's there. So that's one of the changes there. Now, one exciting thing about this, and I don't know if this really fits into the changes for today, but it's something that has been around for a little while. People haven't been using very often, mostly because they've been using annotations, and that's the end screens, which is the other part of this that is replacing the YouTube cards. Replacing the YouTube annotations. And if you haven't played with end screens yet, it's a very slick platform. And what it allows you to do is to put hotspots in the last 20 seconds of your video that have more videos, subscribe buttons, and links back to your website, things like that, which is very, very well done. That is much, much better than annotations, except for one minor problem, and that problem being you can only put them in the last 20 seconds of your video. So if you got a 5-minute video, you won't be able to put it in there until the last 20 seconds. I'm hoping and praying every day that YouTube takes the idea of the end screens and replaces annotations with an end screen-like program, because one of the great things about end screens is that you can put a hotspot in there and upload an image. So you could upload an image of a button and make it clickable. And when you do that, that's going to give you all of the power of clicking just like you do now with annotations, but without having to put a button in the video itself. So you can actually change out the buttons, change out the graphic there, and that would be great. But hopefully they'll do that. I don't see them doing it anytime soon. I imagine they're really sticking with this last 20-second thing, but I really hope they do change that and allow you to do that in the middle of your video at any time. That would be a really great thing if they would allow people to do that. The other great thing about the end screens is, of course, that you can put your other videos in there. They've got template layouts, so you can actually choose one of the layouts and it'll automatically put videos in there for you and put your buttons in there. But you also have the flexibility of setting it up yourself, so you can actually go in and choose, I want my next video that I want them to go to be up here, and I want a subscribe button here, and I want a link to my website here. And so you can kind of really design all that out. And the great thing about this is for people that have used any of our programs like, for instance, Vidnimations, which were originally designed specifically for the clickable annotations, you can actually use those with the end screens. Put it on the end of your video. So, for instance, if it's 8 seconds or 10 seconds long, you put that at the end of your video, and then you put in the boxes that normally you would on your computer, you would edit those and put the videos you want them to go to next inside there, then upload that with your video. Well, now you can actually put the vidnimations at the end of your video, upload the video, and then put whatever video you want on there, which means you can swap it out, which is even better. Yeah. So we're going to be having some fun with that and with those end screens. In fact, I'm working on a program right now where it's a training program, and what I want to do is at the end of the videos is have a DVD-like menu at the end where people can click on the different lessons they want, and we'll be able to use the annotations to do that on the end screen. So it'll be very easy, so it'll be a lot of fun. But it's a very powerful tool, and it replaces, or at least partially replaces, the annotations, which are going away. So sad to see the annotations go away for some reasons, but I love what they're doing with the end screens. And even with cards, I like what they're doing with cards. But if they can do the end screen thing in the middle of the videos, I would really be excited by that, and hopefully they'll do that at some point. And,
what I used to do with I'd stand up some of your template videos, instant spokesperson videos, and then I'd go out to the plumber and say, "You want this?" And so not only could I put a phone number in the title, but I could put an annotation with a link to their website if they could go through all the verification processes.
Absolutely. And the good thing about this, now this is something that actually is an exciting part of this. Now, one of the businesses that I have creates local videos. And at the end of the local videos, we have a blank spot where, it says contact us now and then has nothing there. You put that in the end of your video there, and then you can put their button, their contact info in that spot without having to do it on the actual video itself. And that means that, let's say you're selling leads, you can swap that out to say anything you want at that point, and that'll make a difference. Now, there is some trepidation about this because it will not work still on mobile devices not using the YouTube app. So you have to be using the YouTube app for these to work properly, just like with YouTube cards. Unfortunately, they will not work if you're just on your mobile device and you're seeing a video in Chrome or in Safari or whatever. It's not going to work there, or at least I believe it's not going to work. I have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure that is the case.
I think you're right. Now
I know with cards it definitely is the case, but I believe it's the case with these as well. So
I've got a Droid, and I will tell you the YouTube app is such a better way to watch videos on a mobile.
And the thing is, I believe on the Droids, the YouTube app is automatically in there and ready to go.
That's right.
On iPhones, they used to have an app before YouTube came out with their own app. Apple had an app on there that was automatically in there. They don't now because they have you download the official YouTube app, but it doesn't come standard on there. So if you don't download the official YouTube app, you'll be missing out on some of these features. And certainly there's a lot of clients who probably don't download the YouTube app, in which case you will run into that issue. But for most people,
you're missing if you don't have it.
Even like I said, Android, I believe it's built in. They automatically have it in there on the iPhones. They recommend it. So the first time you go to use a YouTube video, they'll ask you to download the YouTube app. So most people do. But there's still going to be some that won't. So you'll miss out on some of those features, but not too bad. So that's the sad part, is the loss of annotations, but the addition of some of these great things that actually are pretty good, and hopefully they'll improve over time. That will be the exciting part, is if they can improve that. So very good. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is something else new at YouTube that really doesn't have a whole lot to do with marketing, but it is YouTube and it is changing, and so I thought we'd mention it. It's a little bit of fun. It's called YouTube TV. Now, Steve, have you heard of YouTube TV?
I have, but tell me what it is again.
So YouTube TV is going to be, I believe, what they call a thin television programming network. And what that means is basically, instead of paying your $200 to your local cable provider, which is just an outrage and a ripoff for the 5 channels you actually watch, but you've got 300, YouTube is actually going to be offering their own TV experience where you can actually buy your cable channels.
TV protocol.
Exactly. And the great thing about this is they've got A lot of good networks already on board. It's only $35 a month. So if you're like me and you're paying that $200 bill every month, which I know most of mine is my internet, but or probably half of that, but it's pretty expensive. For $35 a month, you get ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, the CW, all the ESPN channels, CSN, Fox Sports 1 and 2, USA, FX, Freeform, Disney, BTN. I don't even know what BTN is. And no, that's BET. You got Oxygen, Bravo, FX.
Big Ten Network.
Big Ten Network. There we go. Okay. Disney Junior, CBS Sports, NBC Sports, Golf Channel, MSNBC, Fox News, CNBC, some more Fox stuff, National Geographic channels, and Chiller. If you don't know what Chiller is, I actually pay, I believe, like $5 a month already for Chiller, so I can actually end that subscription and get this and save a little bit of money. Chiller is basically a kind of like Netflix for bad horror movies. And TV program. And I shouldn't say bad. There's some good ones in there.
We get it.
You also get the YouTube Red originals. Now, if you don't know what YouTube Red is, that's kind of like their Netflix, where they've got original programming and things like that. In fact, they just came out with a new movie called I can't think of the name of it. I was just watching a trailer for it this morning. I wanted to say Thinning, I think it's called. Which is a reference to like thinning of the herd, where they're basically offing people, kind of a post-apocalyptic style government getting rid of people that aren't good enough and strong enough, that sort of thing. And it looked pretty good, but it's a YouTube Red original, so you'll be able to get those on there without having to pay for YouTube Red. If you do want, and that's another thing, by the way, if you don't know what YouTube Red is, that's another thing that they've added back a little while ago. YouTube Red allows you to pay them to not see ads, and you'll see original content, kind of like how when you join Amazon Prime, you get some of their original video content and movies and things like that. So that's what you get with YouTube Red. But basically, YouTube is moving into the entertainment field, and I guess they already were, but more of the traditional entertainment field. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I'm going to be one of the first people to jump on this because we're about to get rid of our cable here anyway, and this is a much, much better, less expensive alternative. They've got the channels that I want. It's a pretty good price, and you can watch it on any device, anytime, which is a big issue. I mean, I'm paying a fortune for cable on my big TV out here, but I can't watch it on my iPad. I can't watch it on my phone. Technically, you kind of can, but it never seems to work properly. So this will eliminate all of that. It'll work just like YouTube, but you'll be watching TV. And it works already on different devices, so you can get it on your Apples and your TVs and your laptops and all that. So it's pretty exciting stuff.
Remember at Vid Summit a couple of years ago when, I don't know if it was Daryl or who it was, that said the time is going to come when YouTube is going to broadcast something like the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. That is 100% correct. As a matter of fact, there was an announcement just the other day that Thursday Night Football is going to be broadcast on Amazon. Yeah. And so you'll be able to get it there. So it's definitely coming. There's really no reason that a company like YouTube couldn't go out, or Netflix or whomever, and buy a contract for something big like that. Whether it's the Super Bowl or some MLB games or whatever it happens to be. People were shocked when Fox did it. When Fox got the Super Bowl, they paid a fortune to be able to get the Super Bowl and everything. Yeah. I think those days are coming. I think it's not going to be too far off that we're going to see that happen. In fact, with YouTube, with this YouTube programming, you can already get. They've got soccer content, so Fox Soccer you can pick up with this as well. It's an extra fee for that. They've also got Showtime in there. You can pay extra for Showtime, and so you get those as well. So it's a lot of changes there, and it's exciting to see some of these things that are coming down the pike, and I think it's exciting. I really do. Mm-hmm. So they got a lot going on. And now imagine, and I don't know how this has worked, so you'll have to excuse me for throwing conspiracy out here because I haven't seen this yet. I haven't used the YouTube TV, but I assume these end screens are going to work with this as well. And so we're going to probably see a lot of interesting things like that. It'd be interesting to see. Now, I don't know. The other thing I don't know, and I assume is, I'm not sure how they handle advertising on this. I would assume if they're broadcasting ABC, CBS, and Fox live, there's going to be advertising in there at that price. And I assume that YouTube themselves will be filling in the local spots in there. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, when you're talking about NBC, CBS, Fox, or even USA, FX,
Cable
things like
networks,
that, the way they work is they've got two different types of ad spots on there. There are the ones that are sold directly by the network. So those are where you're going to see like Ford, Coca-Cola, things like that. And then they have spots that the local areas will sell. And if you ever had something like Dish Network or DirecTV, usually those are filled with DirecTV commercials or information. If you've ever been watching a TV show, you see a commercial, and then the next thing you see is like some sort of ad-like spot for DirecTV talking about a service they have in there or whatever. That's them filling the spots that normally would be filled by local advertising.
And they sell them. They sell.
They do. They do definitely sell them. Yep, they'll sell time there. And I would assume YouTube is probably going to do the same thing. Now, the great question here is, am I going to be sitting and watching, Criminal Minds and see a very targeted advertisement between, after the Ford commercial and the Coke commercial, am I going to be seeing an ad for, Cyril Jeet's newest program that he's trying to get affiliates to get behind?
Or that, yes, you could. Or the local bank branch or the local retail store just targeting a very small geographic area around their location.
Well, and this is where it gets exciting. And again, folks, we're speculating crazy here. We don't know anything about this particular part yet. This is speculation, but this could very well open up the market for local advertising without having to deal with a cable company or a network or a network affiliate or anything like that. So imagine going to the local flower shop and saying, "Hey, I can get you onto YouTube TV," and we shoot a commercial, and then we just do ad placement on these TV programs. And I don't know if it's going to work that way. Honestly, I don't. But I could see this happening. Like right now,
you can do it now on YouTube.
Well, you can do it now on YouTube. Absolutely. You can target specific things on YouTube, but whether they'll open this up to specifically allow you to target, Fox or CBS or NBC, I don't know. But I think if they go that direction, that could be very, very interesting for the local marketing areas. So something we'll keep our eyes on. Again, we're speculating. This is total innuendo and speculation and guesswork. We don't know on that. That's something we're just kind of speculating on. So again, this has only been announced in the last couple of days. None of the details, as far as I know, are really out there yet, or at least I haven't taken the time to search for them. So they may actually be out there, and I haven't looked. So if you know anything about that, of course, please feel free to let me know. Again, we're just kind of speculating here, but it could be very, very exciting if that is the case. So there you go. That is the current changes at YouTube.
Exciting stuff.
It is. So sorry about the annotations, folks. If you've got annotations out there, it's still going to work. If you got videos you're going to be putting out, you want to use annotations, get them out there quick. Because you only got about a month left, a little less than a month. They're going to go away.
Speaking of exciting stuff, Mindset Matters.
Mindset Matters, yes. Let's get our little bumper here, and we'll hit that, and hopefully we don't crash the entire system like we did a couple weeks ago. So here it is.
Now, Mindset Matters.
Yeah.
Yes, so for today's Mindset Matters, I'm currently reading a new book that is really, really good. I'm very excited about this book. I've gotten a lot out of it. I'm about halfway through it, but I'm really loving the content in there. And it's by the one, the only Robert Cialdini, and it's called Persuasion. So not persuasion, Persuasion. And it teaches you all about how people can do very little things that get people excited to buy a product before they even get the ad pitch. And as an example for that, he goes through a lot of case studies in this book. I know I'm making it sound real exciting now. He goes through a lot of case studies in this book. And for instance, one of the case studies they talk about was dealing with different types of content on television. So this falls right back to what we were just talking about. If you could target your ads on regular TV type stuff with YouTube and have different advertisements, what they discovered was, if you take, for instance, a Ford ad, built Ford tough, 29 years straight, the best-selling truck in America. If you put that ad on a program that's like an action film, it actually will get a lot of response. However, if you put that same ad onto a romantic comedy, it's not going to get the same response. Now, the first thing people are going to say, well, yeah, because all the women are watching the other one. They don't care about trucks. But it's not that, because they've done this with a lot of different things. This is just one example. What they've discovered is when people are watching an action film, that they tend to gravitate more towards things that deal with groupthink. So, for instance, 29 years, best-selling truck. Everybody wants one, that kind of a thing. Whereas in the opposite direction, when people are watching a romantic-style movie, they actually will take more action on advertisements that deal with exclusivity. So in other words, there's another, they used a different Ford ad that was like an exclusive such and such package for your Ford F-150. And running those ads, they discovered that on the romantic comedies, the exclusivity commercials did a lot better, whereas on the action film, the groupthink videos did a lot better. And that's just one case study of one little thing in there. And he talks about a lot of stuff that even directly applies to the type of marketing that we do, such as, for instance, making sure that if you've got numbers that are in your video or in your advertisements, your emails, or whatever it happens to be, that all the numbers you use are higher numbers than the cost. So, for instance, if you were to say, as a little minor example, you wouldn't want to say, you get 5 gigabytes of stuff for $27 because, it makes 27 seem bigger. So you go the opposite direction. Instead of saying 5 megabytes, you say, 5,000 gigabytes. So 5,000 is a lot bigger. It makes that number seem smaller. And it makes sense because people do that kind of stuff all the time with, you're not going to be paying $4.97, you're going to be paying $27. And that really makes a big difference. So it's a psychological thing. So it goes through a lot of those little tiny things like that you can really learn a lot of. So again, that is Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. And you can pick that up at Amazon or at your favorite bookstore. You can also get it on audible.com. And highly recommended. So Persuasion. And there you go.
Sounds good. And it's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the Video Guy. And I'm Steve Sleeper on the Show Radio Network. Today's show made possible by
freevideoeditor.co. Yes. Are you looking to start being like a professional when you edit your videos? Well, then you need to head on over to freevideoeditor.co. You can pick up You can pick up our free video editor and start editing just like a pro. We've also got a lot of great goodies there as well. So head on over there to freevideoeditor.co and leave off the last M for
Mary.
Manslaughter. I don't know. Manslaughter.
I like manslaughter better.
That's right. Manslaughter.
Manslaughter.
Check it out, baby. Manslaughter. We love it. All right. With that brings us to the end of another week of Video Marketing Madness. We hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, then head on over to iTunes right now, right this and leave
minute.
us a 5-star review because we need them.
We're needy.
And, and you need it.
Yes.
You need what we provide. So head on over there and leave that 5-star review. Do it.
Or you will suffer the consequences.
That's right. You need what we provide, so do it. All right, let's get out of here. Let's hit that music, and we'll see you all on the next episode of Video Marketing Madness. So long, everybody.
He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy.